இனி போகல இப்ப ஆனா நாங்க வேஸ்ட் பண்ணணும் வீட்டுக்கு தானே சார் உங்களுக்கு வேலை போறீங்க ஐயோ ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிட்டு
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. We'll start. So we share the slides. I hope you can remember the syllabus. Okay. So we started introduction to language and linguistics. Okay. Under this, there's another topic. We'll start it, complete it, and then we'll go to another one. Or else I'm just thinking whether we should go to second topic at once. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll quickly do this rather than I'm explaining it. I will share it with you. Then I hope you can read it and understand it. Okay. So our subject is language and linguistics. Okay. So we should have an idea why this language and linguistics, they are important. Okay, before that we'll go to the other lesson. Because first we will cover the stuff in the syllabus. Okay.
Signal තියෙනවා මම මේ ක්ලාස් එකට join වෙලා තියෙනවා. නිකන්
Okay, so this is the syllabus. Can you all see it?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So here today we will go to the second topic. Okay, so here you can see the second topic is phonetics and phonology. Okay, we'll go to that lesson. Okay, so phonetics and phonology. Tell me whether you have learned this early.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Okay, so then you may be having a clear idea about phonetics and phonology. Can you just tell me what it is? Basically, phonetics and phonology, are they about what? I will make it more simple.
Sound system of the language.
Very good. Yeah, sound system of language. Okay, so we'll get to know what it is. Okay, just read and understand.
Okay, madam.
Okay, so here you can see what you told is correct actually. Okay, so phonetics and phonology are two subfields of linguistics that study the sounds in language. Exactly what you told is correct. Phonetics and phonology, they are about the study of the sounds in language. Okay, while both fields are concerned with the sounds of language, they differ in their scope and focus. Even phonetics, phonology, both are about sounds of language. But they differ. They are different when it comes to the scope and the focus of them. Okay, we'll understand it. There is a message. Good evening, yeah. Hi. Okay, now read. When you finish reading, let me know.
Phonetics is the study of the speech sound. It is concerned with how speech transmit.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Phonetics is the study of the speech sounds. Okay, so then when we talk, we pronounce words. Okay, so phonetic is the study of the speech sounds. It is concerned with how speech sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived by the human auditory system. Okay, understand that? So phonetics is basically about sounds, but it focuses on how speech sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived by the human auditory system. Okay, did you get it into your mind? Phonetics is about how speech sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived by the human auditory system. Okay. Basically, phonetics studies how sounds are produced, transmitted, and received. Okay, so what I have bolded, so that is phonetics. Based on these three primary functions, phonetics can be classified into three subcategories. Okay, so there are three primary functions. That means how sounds are produced, how sounds are transmitted. And yes, if you have a question, you can ask and receive. Okay, so then these things are happening. A person is producing sounds. We'll think about speaking. And what he spoke is transmitted to the ears of the other person. And then that person received it with a meaning. Okay, all these three processes are there. Okay, so based on these primary functions, there are three types of phonetics: articulatory phonetics, acoustic phonetics, and auditory phonetics. Is this slide clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay,
We'll
ma'am.
go to, yeah, next one. Okay, now we'll see what articulatory phonetics.
Organs of speech.
Okay, articulatory phonetics. Okay, so within brackets, you can see the production. Articulatory phonetics is the study of the organs of speech. Some of you might have studied these things early. Okay, so articulatory phonetics, that is about the study of the organs of speech. As the title suggests, this type focuses majorly on the production of sounds. So articulatory phonetics, it focuses on the production of sounds, how sounds are produced. Okay, so for that we use the different organs, speech organs. Here one studies the use of different speech organs in producing all types of speech sounds by the speaker. Okay, so then now I am producing sounds and you receive it. Okay, so then even though we do not pay much attention, when we produce sounds, there are lots of things going in our vocal cords. Okay, so when you talk, if you keep your hand under your throat, okay, so you can feel something is vibrating. Okay, so articulatory phonetics is about how these speech sounds are produced using different speech organs. For example, the use of your tongue and lips in producing the words like moon, stars, flower, pen, and all other words. You just simply you pronounce these words yourself, and then when we pronounce the moon, maybe our lips, stars, so our both rows of teeth, they touch each other. Flower, so maybe upper teeth touches our lower lip. Pen. So then there are different ways our organs function when we pronounce different words. Is it clear? So what is articulatory phonetics? What is it about?
Study of the
Study of the organs
of
of
speech.
speech.
Study of how speech sounds are produced by speech organs. Okay, that is the articulatory phonetics. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Acoustic phonetics. See what it is.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Acoustic phonetics, within brackets, you can see transmission. Acoustic phonetics focuses on the study of the transmission of sounds from the speaker to the listener. So then I am talking, my sound is going to your ears. Okay, so the technology is also playing a role here. But just imagine you are talking to a person in front of you. But even then what you talk goes to the ears of the other person. That is when the speaker says something, how the sound waves travel from the speaker's speech organs to the listener's ear. So there are sound waves, just like how beat is the palpitation, heartbeat rates. The study of this process of transmission comes under acoustic phonetics. Okay, so you should know what acoustic phonetics is, but practically we cannot learn it because it needs highly developed technology. Inside the classroom, we can never learn acoustic phonetics. For example, when your mom calls for you from another room, the sound waves travel from another room to yours. Okay, maybe mother is shouting at the kitchen. You are there in the front room or sitting room. So you can hear what your mother is telling. So that the study of that, how you receive what your mother told, that is called acoustic phonetics. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next. auditory phonetics. Read that also.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So auditory phonetics, perception. So this is the widest of all types of phonetics. Okay, so auditory phonetics is the wider area than acoustic phonetics and the other one. This category covers the most important aspect of perception, understanding. After the speaker conveys the information and the listener hears it, his brain function to process the information. Okay, one person is telling something. See nothing like this. The person A is telling something. The person B is hearing it. So after hearing, the person B's mind start working. So then brain start processing the information. In simple words, auditory phonetics focuses on the learner's understanding and processing of the information shared with them. So this is about learner's understanding. Like when your teacher explains a topic in class and you are able to understand it after listening to them. Okay, so your teacher is explaining a lesson. So you are listening. At the end, you can understand it. This example comes under auditory phonetics. It's not only listening, right? So it's not only listening. It's listening plus understanding. Okay, check whether you got it.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes?
If the sound is not familiar to the listener, then we
there's-
can't.
Yeah, we
Of
can't.
course.
Yes, of course, what you told is correct. So we understand the language when it is familiar to us. So there are different language. So they are under auditory phonetics, we stop only with receiving the word, receiving the sound. So we
Okay.
can receive the sound, but we can't understand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but still it is under auditory phonetics.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. But your question is a very good question actually. Right. So now up to this, we were talking about phonetics. Okay, can you remember? Phonetics studies how sounds are produced, transmitted, and received. So we were talking about these three: producing, transmitting, and receiving. So now we are going to the other part of the topic, phonology. So our topic is phonetics and phonology. So what is phonology?
study of the sounds.
Yes. Phonology, both are about studying sounds. Even phonetics is that. So, but phonology is the study of sound which are concerned with the ways in which speech sounds are organized and patterned in a language. Okay. Take this very clearly into your minds. Phonetic is about how sounds are produced, transmitted, and understood. Receive, okay? But phonology is about how sounds are organized and patterned. So there are different patterns, how sounds are organized, just like words. It studies how sounds are combined together to form words and how sounds alternate in different language. Okay, so then in English language, when we pronounce words, there are certain combinations how sounds are combined together. Okay, how sounds are organized and pattern, that is phonology. Okay, I will show you one example here. You can see.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So then we were talking about phonology. So then we are talking about phoneme, because you should know what phoneme means. So then we got to know phonology is about organizing and the pattern of combination of sounds. Okay, so here it is here. If I show you once again. How speech sounds are organized and patterned. So that is phonology. How speech sounds are produced basically and even transmitted and understand, that is phonetics. Are you clear with the difference between phonology and phonetics? Phonetics is about the production of sounds, how sounds are produced. Phonology is about how sounds are organized and patterned. Okay, so here a phoneme is the smallest unit of speech sound. Okay, so then certain words are a combination of small units. So smallest unit of speech sound is called a phoneme. Okay, so then each phoneme represents the smallest contrastive sound unit, which may bring about a change in the word meaning. Okay, so then this contrast may bring different meaning. Traditionally, the linguist put the phoneme between slash marks. So here you can see example. Mat and hat are separated from each other based on the initial sound. Okay, so when we say mat, hat, so the difference is there with the initial sound. So that is m and her. So they are phoneme. Smallest sound unit. The mat. The last two letters are AT. Hat. Even the word hat contains last two letters are A and T. But these two words differ because of the initial sound. So initial sound of met is m, hat is her. So m and her, they are phonemes. Okay, check whether you understand it.
Yes.
Understood? Is it understood?
Yes, madam.
Okay, very good. Okay, so you might have learned this many times, but I'm not going to do this in detail. So I told you phonetics is about the production of sounds. So now we are going to study it. So here you can see the head, the upper part above the shoulders. So here you can see the vocal tract. There are two cavities, two parts which start with the nose and which start with the mouth. So what is started with the nose is called naval cavity. What starts with the mouth is called oral cavity. After sometimes both nasal cavity and oral cavity will go through the same path. Okay, so the vocal tract is a container of air that starts from the top of the vocal cord, falls and goes all the way to the edge of the lips. So the vocal tract is a container of the air, the vocal tract. So then that is when we breathe, air goes inside. That starts from the top of the vocal cord, falls and goes all the way to the edge of the lips. So here the starting point is they are somewhere close to the neck. End point is the mouth. Otherwise, it's not start with mouth and go to the throat. The opposite. Okay, see here, there are different parts. Alveolar ridge. Okay, so if you touch alveolar ridge with your mouth, tongue, you can see it's very hard. Nostrils, nasal cavity, hard palate. Then oral cavity, you can see the lips, teeth, tongue. So then the tongue can be divided into three parts: tips, front, back. Okay, so then pharynx, uvula, velum, epiglottis, larynx, vocal folds, glottis. Yes, these are the parts of vocal tract. I hope you have seen this early. We will go further. So then each of these parts I have described. Alisha, you can read them. Simply read, then you will understand. Hope you read it and you can understand. The pharynx is a tube which begins just above the larynx. You know, you have to see what larynx is. Okay, so it is about 7 centimeters long in women, 8 centimeters in men. So that is between the nose and the neck. And at its top end is divided into 2. Right? The top end is divided into 2. One part being the back of the mouth and the other part being the beginning of the way through the nasal cavity. Okay, so pharynx will divided into 2. One goes to the nose, one goes to the mouth. If you look in your mirror with your mouth open, you can see the back of the pharynx. So if you open your mouth widely in front of a mirror, you can see the back of the pharynx. Hope it is clear to you. We'll go to the next part here. The velum. Message. In the exam, I don't have an idea, but I need to take some past papers and see. I will ask Mr. Rishad whether they are having past papers. I don't have because I am new to the program. So I have to ask them how they will set question papers. Okay, so tomorrow I will get some idea and then I will tell it to you. Okay, so then anyhow, I don't think that you have to explain them. I don't think it's useless. So they will not ask you to explain this, but you should know these things. Sometimes I don't know whether they will ask you to name the parts of the vocal and nasal cavity. So they will give this type of picture empty, but you need to name the parts. So sometimes even that I cannot assure you because I haven't seen your past papers. Okay, are you satisfied with the answer? But when we meet next time for the lecture, I will brief you about it. Right? So then, but when we are covering a syllabus, whether it comes for the exam or not, we should learn it because knowledge is more important than the questions at the exam. It's important, but we are not conducting lectures just like a tuition class. So then we need to enhance our knowledge also. That's what I am doing. Huh? Okay, the velum. Kaleshal, you can read it and understand. So, yeah. Velum is the soft palate. Okay, so then after the lesson, actually, you can touch these parts in your mouth. So if using your finger, if you touch the velum, so it's a soft place. It's a soft palate. Definitely, I will share these slides. Okay, sure, don't worry. Okay, the position that allows air to pass through the nose and through the mouth. Diagram in a position that allows air to pass through the nose and the mouth. Yours is probably in that position now, but often in speech it is raised so that air cannot escape through the nose. Okay, so because of this velum only, so this nasal cavity and oral cavity, they will balance the task. Okay, so when you talk, so then velum will close the nasal cavity, or something like that. Just you see, yours is probably in that position now, but often in speech it's raised so that air cannot escape through the nose. Okay, so then when we talk, the velum will block the nasal cavity. So air will not go inside the nasal cavity. Okay, so when we stop talking, it will close the oral cavity and then the air will go through the nasal cavity. And have you heard, you have seen, I know, there are some people who talk with their nose. I don't know. Even I can't remember the Sinhala term now. When nahayen katha karnawa kiyala in Sinhala we call. Okay, so then they are having a problem with their velum. It's not functioning properly. So when they talk also, air is going through the nose. So then only their voice is different, not normal. The other important thing about the velum is that it is one of the articulators that can be touched by the tongue. Okay, so then this velum can be touched by the tongue. When we make the sound k, g, the tongue is in contact with the lower side of the velum. K, g. Okay, so when we pronounce, it touches. And we call these velar consonants. So then I am telling you no need of studying them. I mean by heart, learning by heart is not needed. Okay, so then after soft palate, the hard palate is often called the roof of the mouth. You can feel its smooth curved surface with the tongue. Hard palate. Okay, so it's hard. So there are ridges. So it's somewhere close to the row of teeth, front teeth. Okay, so then alveolar. So that is exactly after the rows of teeth. It's very hard. Okay, that is behind the rows of teeth. Okay, once when I share the slides, you can leisurely read it. Huh? Okay, so I will not explain everything in detail. Okay, so when we pronounce certain sounds like t, d, simply you can pronounce, your microphones are off, so you can say t, d. So the tongue touches the alveolar. So they are called velar sound. Okay, the tongue. Okay, so tongue is of course a very important articulator, and it can be moved into many different places and different shapes. Okay, even though we do not think about these things, if we start thinking, we can't live actually. So it will be a burden. So our tongue is doing a great task. So it is very, very flexible. So when we talk, our tongue functions in different ways. It is usual to divide the tongue into different parts. Okay, so though there are no clear dividing lines. Okay, so there are no clear demarcations, but we can divide the tongue into 3-4 parts. Tip of the tongue, and then the blade of the tongue, the front, back, root. The root is there close to the neck. Okay, so the following diagram shows our subdivisions of the tongue. That is another organ. Then the teeth. Okay, so the teeth. So then there are two types of teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth, are usually shown in diagrams like figure 1, only at the front of the mouth. So then it's very difficult to show teeth actually, but we know they are there. This is for the sake of simple diagram, and you should remember that most speakers have teeth to the sides of their mouth. So when we draw, we can show only one tooth sometimes, but we know there are many. Back almost to the soft palate. The tongue is in contact with the upper side of the side teeth for many speech sounds. Okay, so when we compare the number of words we produce touching the tongue with the teeth, so it is always with the upper teeth. The sounds made with the tongue touching the front teeth are called dental. Okay, so even in other mother tongues, I mean, even in Sinhala and even in Tamil, I'm sure the same way sounds are produced. So we are referring to English language, but whatever the language, this is how the sounds are produced. So dental sounds in Sinhala, I'm sorry, I don't know Tamil. In Sinhala, we call dantaja, akshara or dantaja sounds. That means using teeth, we pronounce them. Okay. Then the lips. Okay, the lips are important in speech. They can be pressed together. Okay, think about these sounds. When we produce the sounds p, b, so then brought into contact with the teeth as if f, v. Okay? Or rounded to produce the lip shapes for vowels like ru. Sounds in which the lips are in contact with each other are called bilabial. Okay, so we can understand from these sounds, using lips, we pronounce many words, many sounds. So they are called bilabial. While those with lips to teeth contacts are called labiodental. So then these names are also very meaningful. And when it is only with the lips, we call bilabial. But it's when it is with lips plus teeth, we call labiodental. Okay, so even in Sinhala, Tamil language also, the same terms may be there with the meaning. Okay, so then what we discussed up to now is about vocal tract. Okay, so you should have some idea about the vocal tract. Okay, so then after that we'll go to vowel and consonant. So under phonetics and phonology, we have to know about this. Okay, vowels and consonant. A vowel is any sound with no audible noise produced by construction in the vocal tract. Okay, so then when we pronounce vowels, the noise is not that coming out. And a consonant is a sound with audible noise produced by constriction. Okay, so I'm simply showing them the classification of vowels, pure vowels and diphthongs. Pure vowels. Okay, pure vowels means vowels which have a single vowel sound. Okay, so then vowels which have a single vowel sound, they are called pure vowels. So see the sun, tick. Okay, so sound is sa, tick, please, dot, food, food, word, warm, arm, pant. Okay, so they come under this category. So they are having only one vowel sound, single vowel sound. So they are called pure vowels. Okay, so if you are interested in knowing them, there are videos on online internet. You can see how to pronounce pure vowels. So then they will display video how your mouth is working. If I have time today, I will show them. Okay, diphthongs. Pure vowel contain only one vowel sound, single. But diphthongs are sound formed by the combination of sounds. Combination of two vowel sounds. So fight, right, fight. There are two vowel sounds. Plow, cow, there, chair, sock, rodent. Okay, so these are some words. And don't get confused. So then I am telling once again, I will tell you exactly whether these things are coming for the exam or not, but I am sure they are not. Sorry. Okay, so when it comes to vowels, there are two types of vowel sound. One is called pure vowels. What is the other one? Just now we did pure vowels and diphthongs. So they are the two varieties of vowel sound. But consonant sounds are two types, according to the place of articulation and manner of articulation. So according to the place where they are produced, they can be divided. And also according to the way how they are pronounced. Okay, so consonant sounds are two types according to the place of articulation and manner of articulation. Okay, so here, place of articulation. That means according to the place where this particular sound is produced. Okay, so according to the place of articulation, there are different names for the sounds. Bilabial. Okay, so description is there. The upper lip and the lower lip in complete contact with each other. B, like that. So then dental. Labiodental. Palatal. Palatal means the body of the tongue touches the hard palate. Okay, so these names are there according to the place of articulation. And some more. Alveola, Plato-alveola, velar, glottal. Okay, so there are different sounds according to the place of articulation. You see, according to the manner of articulation, you see, just have an idea. You need not to have a very sound idea, but at least some idea. Manner of articulation, there are different sounds, plosive, fricative, affricate. Okay, so these sounds are there, but what you should know is, there are two types of sounds, vowels and consonant. Okay, so vowels are two types. They are pure vowels and diphthongs. Okay, so pure vowels contain only one sound unit. Diphthongs is two. Sorry. So then you can have a summary, then you will be comfortable. So sounds, vowels, consonant. Vowel, two types. Pure vowel, diphthongs. Then consonants are two types. Two types in the sense, two basic varieties are there according to place of articulation and manner of articulation. Okay, that's sufficient. Okay, so then according to manner of articulation, plosive, fricative, affricate, nasal, lateral, approximant. Okay. So this chart also shows the same thing. And so at the same time, so when it comes to phonetics and phonology, have you heard the phonetics transcription? At least you should know there is such thing. What is phonetics transcription?
Visual representation of speech sounds.
Exactly, yes. A phonetics transcription is the visual representation of speech sounds by means of symbols. We use certain symbols to indicate the speech sounds. The most common type of phonetics transcription uses a phonetic alphabet. So then there is something called International Phonetics Alphabet. Okay, so here you might have heard of this early. So you see, this is from there. Okay, so then if you are using dictionaries, English dictionaries, nowadays students are not using. When we were using, we were having Oxford mini dictionary, big one. So then in the dictionary also, under particular verb is there. So within brackets, the pronunciation is there. The pronunciation is there in phonetic script. Ship. ഈ സൗണ്ട് ഒക്കെ sheep, put, you, here, name. So particular sound, the word which contains the sound is there. Okay, so this is called International Phonetic Alphabet. So if so then maybe you are a Tamil person, or you are speaking Tamil. Oh, Sinhalese. So then you are writing your speech using this phonetic script. So then even a foreigner can read your speech. Foreigner can talk in Sinhala if it is written in phonetic script. Any language in the world can be represented using this phonetic script. So then you can talk in that language even though you don't know anything because of the phonetic script. Okay, now we'll see the difference between phonetics and phonology. So that is our topic. So under this, we discuss lots of things, but now we will see the difference between phonetics and phonology. Okay, so we'll see phonetics is the branch of linguistics that deals with the human speech sounds are made. How human speech sounds are made. We discussed this earlier. If phonetics is about how human speech sounds are made. So phonology, in contrast to phonetics, phonology is the study of significant speech sounds. How these speech sounds are made, and the study of significant speech sounds, that is phonology. Okay, so I will show you where we started it. Let me show you. If it is not clear, there's no point of going there. Okay, we're here. Phonetics is about, okay, how sounds are produced, transmitted, and received. Okay, so then phonology is the study of sounds which are concerned with the way in which speech sounds are organized. Okay, now it is the same thing here. Sorry. Phonetic is about how human speech sounds are made, how they are articulated. Okay, so then phonology is how these sounds are combined and organized to pronounce different words. Phonetics describes how physical expressions of human speech sounds are produced. Okay, how these sounds are produced, whether it is with the lips, whether it is with the tongue and the teeth, whether it is with the uvula, like that. On the other hand, phonology deals with the mental aspect of sounds in the language. So here the mental aspect means how we produce sounds under different patterns. When we say BAT, the sound is different than CAT. Phonetical units are called phones. Phonological units are called phonemes. It deals with a large number of speech sounds. It deals with the limited number of speech sounds. Okay, so phonetics, it deals with a large number of speech sounds, but phonology, it deals with the limited number of sounds. As we know, the phonetic symbols are enclosed in square brackets. When we write phonetic sounds, we put it in the square bracket. On the other hand, phonemic symbols are enclosed in the slash brackets. You know, square brackets and slash brackets. Whereas phonetical units may not form contrastively. C. Okay, so C. The same thing. The phonological units are formed contrastively. C. The two different words. But how we pronounce them, that is the same. Okay, sorry. So we have come towards the end here. Phoneme. I'm telling you what phoneme because it was here. Phonological units are called phoneme. See. Okay, so did you finish reading?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see. Phoneme is the smallest structural unit that distinguishes meaning in a language. So it is very easy to understand. Phoneme is the smallest unit which smallest sound unit which contains a meaning. Phonemes are not the physical segment themselves, but are cognitive abstractions or categorization of them. Okay, so then phonemes are related to our brain. That is why we call it cognitive. Otherwise, physically, they do not have anything, any meaning. On the other hand, phonemes refer to the instances of phonemes. On the other hand, phones refer to the instances of phonemes in the actual utterances. If a physical segment of, we'll understand the word matter and matter obviously are composed of distinct phonemes. Okay, different sounds, matter. However, in American English, both words are pronounced almost identically, which means that their phones are the same or at least very close to the acoustic domain. The acoustic phonetics, how they are produced. Matter. Okay, so that is the end of this presentation. We will go to another one now. Okay, so tell me whether you get some idea about phonetics and phonology. Okay, so I always ask students to go for a short note. So then you will remember the things very easily when your exam is coming closer. That is very comfortable. Okay, so we were talking about phonetics and phonology. Both are about sounds. Phonetics is about how sounds are produced. Phonology is about how sounds are organized and patterned. Okay, so then we got to know there are three types of phonetics: acoustic, auditory, articulatory, acoustic, and auditory. And then phonology. Under that, we talk about phoneme. And then vocal tract, we discuss. There are different parts. Then vowels and consonant, we discuss. The vowels are two types, pure vowels and diphthongs. The consonants are basically decided under two types. That is according to the place of articulation and manner of articulation. Okay, that is what we did. Okay, so then at last we did phonetics transcript. It's there. Then we compared and contrasted phonetics and phonology. Are you clear with that? If you have any questions, you can ask. Silence says that you do not have problem. Shall I think like that? And I know what is in your mind. The same thing you asked earlier also. How your question paper will appear. And I told you, I also don't have an idea, but I will get to know it. Can I go to another lesson? If this is clear. Yes. Shall I go to another lesson?
Okay, ma'am.
Hari,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Hari, okay. So this thing. Yeah, quickly we have time, but so we will discuss this importance of linguistic. Our topic, our subject is language and linguistics. So we are going to talk about importance of linguistics. Yeah, simply, this is just like listening to a story. Actually, there are no things which are very tough. Okay, so first get an idea about linguistic. Okay, we'll see. Simply describe linguistic is the study of language, including how it functions, how it is learned, and how people communicate using it. Okay, so as a whole, linguistic means the study of language. So if somebody asks you what is linguistic, so you have to simply say that is the study of English. Sorry, that is the study of languages. Despite their interest in the ability to speak a multitude of language, linguistics are more interested in how language works than on being able to speak and understand numerous languages. Okay, so linguists, they don't worry about how languages you can talk, how language a person can talk. No, they don't worry about that. They are more interested in how language works. Okay, so it's not a matter of how many languages person knows. It's a matter of how language works. So then a polyglot. So then polyglot is the person who can talk in many languages. A polyglot is someone who can communicate in multiple languages. So why study linguistics if it doesn't teach you specific language? So we know linguistics does not teach us a language. So that is about languages. Okay, so why should we learn it? Why it is important? Yeah, quickly you can read. Okay, linguistics assist us in understanding our surrounding. So if you get the question, so why linguistic is important? So these are the points. So linguistics assist us in understanding our surrounding. Okay, so every language is unique. So then in the past only people used to say first language, second language, but according to modern trends, it is said that we should not use the term second language, but still it is used. But when it comes to languages, we can't say one language is first, the other one is second. So all the languages are equal, that we have to accept. It has its own manner of building words, phrases, and sentences to communicate concepts, and it captures unique word conceptualization. Okay, so every language is having its own way of having words, phrases, and sentences. We gain better grasp of the world we live in by comparing the vocabulary and structures of different languages. Okay, so when we learn more languages, we can get to know more about the world. Apart from merely comprehending the complexities of world languages, this information can be utilized to improve interpersonal communication, assisting in literacy effort and treating speech disorders. Okay, so when you know about languages, because linguistic is the study of languages, so you can utilize your knowledge about languages for interpersonal communication. Okay, so then once you know about linguistic, that is the study of language, you can communicate with others very effectively. And treating speech disorders. So then if some are having problems, you can help them. Linguistic training is also beneficial for studying and acquiring language. So linguistic training is needed. Okay, so there are many more things under linguistic. As a whole, we can say linguistic help us in understanding our surrounding. Okay, so when we learn linguistic, we get a broader knowledge about languages. And then we understand all languages are equal. Okay, so then other thing we know, language and culture is inseparable. Okay, in Sri Lanka, there are 3 languages. English is common, Sinhalese and Tamil. Sinhalese language means Sinhalese culture. Tamil language means either Tamil culture or Muslims culture, both actually. Okay, so culture and language, they are inseparable. So they cannot be separated. Okay, so learning more languages or studying languages means you are learning about the world. So that is one advantage. Is it correct? Is it clear? You have no idea?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Here. Okay, the study of linguistics aids in the empowerment of individual. Okay, so then empowerment, you know the meaning of empower means entrusting power. Language defines who we are because it captures our perception of the world and our relationship with one another. Okay, so language says who we are. Because of the language only we perceive the world, we understand the world, and we have relationship with each other. We utilize our original language or mother tongue to express what is in our hearts. It is our heart language. Okay, so that is why some people say when children are learning with their mother tongue, they will become more creative. So there are lots of cross argument because our mother tongue is our heart language. Because their heart language is not the language of power. Many minority language communities are marginalized. Okay, so then in this world, we know English language is a dominating language. So we are also learning it. And then Mandarin is another dominating language. At the same time, there are very minor languages, minority languages, so which are fading away. Okay, so as a result, 10,000s of minority language populations are unable to get education in their own tongue. So we don't feel like this, but when you think about a country like India, where there are nearly 800 languages, some languages are minor languages, and they don't get a place because there are dominant languages. As a result of this, they are deprived of education. They become locked in a circle of poverty and discrimination simply because they don't speak or understand the dominant language and culture. Okay, so language is also playing a major role in the lives of people. Okay, so especially those who are using very minor languages, they are discriminated. So when we study linguistics, so we can avoid these things because those who are learning linguistics, they are having a broader sense. Okay, that is the idea here. Okay, hope you understood this. We'll read this part also. As a rising number of organizations join forces with minority language communities, the condition of these people group is changing. Okay, so because of linguistics, people started searching for these minority languages. They are trying to serve or reserve these languages. Okay, so otherwise they will become dead languages. So now, because of the interest of linguistics, the people are trying to serve these minority languages. Okay, a linguistic community continual international measures to guarantee that its language continues to fill its changing social, cultural, political, economic, and spiritual requirement and aspiration is known as language development. So because of linguistics, most of the countries, they have started accepting minor languages. Okay, so that is the meaning of the study of linguistic aids to empowerment of individuals. So minority languages are served, they are saved actually because of linguistics. Okay, next one. Okay. You can leisurely read these things. Discover something new. We utilize speech every day. All it takes is one croaky cough to appreciate our ability to communicate. Okay, so then daily we talk. We can't imagine a day that we do not talk. Learning how words are produced, phonetics, and know how sentences are structured, syntax, are the first stages in understanding why we say certain things, semantics. You know, language contains these parts, phonetics, syntax, semantic, and even morphology. Humans are complex organisms, and studying about how we communicate, from writing to speaking to even how we sound, can help us gain better understanding of ourselves. Okay, so then linguistic talks about all these things, the study of language. So it will increase our understanding. Okay, so if you study linguistics, your understanding on language will be very broad, and then you will discover certain things which are new. Okay, this is another advantage of learning linguistics. Okay, so linguistic improves your communication abilities. One of the most significant advantages is that we can improve our ordinary communication skills. So we may employ the fundamental principles of linguistics in every discussion, from determining why a particular syntax is used to comprehending the meaning behind how words are said. Okay, so then when you study linguistics, your communication abilities also will improve. Building the confidence to generate the correct balance of empathy in conversation is an important talent to learn. Okay, so then you will balance, you will be a person who balances when you talk, and you may feel empathy towards others, whether you are public speaking and need to inspire and persuade. So if you are a public speaker, if your knowledge about linguistics is high, you can inspire others. Or you need to prepare a speech for your personal things. Okay, so linguistic learning languages improve your communication abilities. There are no many more things. Okay, little more. And improve your critical thinking. Read that also. Harry, okay. Improve your critical thinking and analytical abilities. You know what critical thinking and the analytical ability. So they are higher level cognitive skills actually. So when you learn linguistic, when you study linguistic, your critical thinking and analytical abilities will improve. So that is the basic idea. Okay, so innovations, last one. Okay, so here, because of linguistic, we can go for innovations because linguistic is a very new field. It's not an old area. So it is a novel period. So there are lots of things you can find and identify. So if you are in the field of linguistics, you can go for lots of innovations because there are many more things left to be identified in the field of linguistics. So that is the basic idea. And some people misunderstand linguist. So linguist is the person who study languages. And then most of the linguists are polyglots. That means they can talk in many languages, more than 1, 2, 3. Okay, so linguistic is the study of the structure and function of language. Yes, okay. Okay, so these are the major parts of language study. Okay, so under our subject also, this is the order that we are following. Phonetics and phonology. That is what we are doing today. Then morphology, we will start maybe next week. Morphology, the structure of words, how words are formed. Then syntax, we have to study that also. Putting words together, that means structure of language. Then semantic, the meaning of language. Then there's something called pragmatics, that is language in use. Okay, so if you are studying languages, linguistic, you have to know these things. Okay, so we'll see there is a okay, so a student with an interest in linguistics can choose among several different career paths. Okay, so when it comes to profession also, there are benefits. Some of these are listed below, yes. Okay, I will anyhow, if you feel this is very lengthy, I can think of sharing something in point form actually. Although most educated people are unfamiliar with linguistics, it is a growing and exciting field with growing impact on fields as diverse as psychology, philosophy, education, language, teaching, sociology, anthropology, computer science, and artificial intelligence. So today we are living in a world which is dominated by artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, it's a language actually. So once again, it's a language. So linguistic is a novel area and it is unfamiliar to most of them, but still it is growing. Okay, so we discussed two topics today. One is phonetics and phonology, and then we discuss importance of linguistics. Okay, so did you receive last week notes?
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hi, okay, so then soon after the lecture now I will share the today's notes also, then you will receive it soon. And then as I promised you early, I will request some past papers based on this subject. Then I can get an idea about how your question paper appears. This is our first session. No, this is the second. Okay, so maybe you joined today, but we conducted the session on 20th, as I can remember. Okay, we have already done one lesson. Okay, next week, most probably, we check the topic. We will start morphology. Okay, so if it is so, shall we wind up the session now? And meanwhile, if you have some questions, you can forward. Okay, if you do not have questions, we'll wind up the session. Then good night, you all.
Thank you very much, madam. Good night.
Okay, good night, good night.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night, madam.
Ma'am.